What's up, chat? Ah! Ah! Oh! Okay, I will be taking requests in stream today, so feel free to ask me to draw something that isn't a background. While I try and figure out what pen I want to use. Night Rain Recluse? Okay, we'll do Night Rain Recluse. Night Rain Recluse. I can feel my racism. It's being solved. I'm no longer racist anymore. She's not really black, guys. Come on, let's be honest. I've reached the conclusion that I was wrong about everything. And I do need to do like rough drafts, and also I need to study more anatomy, and also I need to practice drawing boxes and everything. I've now entered my listening to what YouTube tells me to do and actually doing it phase. What pen do I want to use here? If I don't know what pen to use, I generally just use the G pen. Let's use a super thin line. Or maybe we should use like crayon or something when I'm doing a rough draft. Okay, what is the most important aspect of the character? It is her giant, massive hat. Alright, that's enough with Virgil. So, how is chat doing today? It's been a while since I streamed anything. I do sort of understand that you're reading through Oda's search history. I assume the entirety of Oda's search history is just like booba, booba, big boobs, huge breasts, how much internal organs do women actually have? I reorganized my room. I'm organizing it back. So the carpenter people actually showed up the other day. in my mother's house, and they started doing the measurements and shit. And I realized, yeah, I have to start getting ready to move out. And instead of going to Washington, D.C., where my father lives, to live with him for a while, I was thinking of maybe going to Japan, because I don't really want to be in... Okay, you know what? You know what needs to be... We need to have her face, and then at least show the lips, the dick-sucking lips, right? I had massive tear gland issues these past few days and a splitting headache yesterday, but otherwise I'm good. I'm a relatively healthy person, so I always forget how lucky I am to not have like various issues that make me feel like shit all the time, which a lot of people have. I often forget that. That enough should be enough to keep me happy, you know. Basement Gooner moving out of the basement. So my aunt died recently, like last week. That means her apartment building, her condo, I guess is the correct term, is now empty. So we're going to ask her daughter, who now owns property of the condo, whether I can move into it for a year, because I have to update my passport anyways, is the thing. And in order to update my passport, I need to be in Japan, because I can't just go to the ambassador, Japanese, what do you call it, consulate, like normal, because I'm not supposed to have Japanese citizenship. Because they want you to not have dual citizenship after like 20 or something, but they don't, the Japanese government doesn't really like hunt you down just because you haven't properly given up your American citizenship. So the way in which I was avoiding this issue up until now was, if you renew your passport when you're in Japan, then they won't really ask more about it. But if you try and renew it when you're in America, it can cause problems. So I was actually traveling to Japan just to renew my passport, but my mother's construction of our house, she's redoing the entire second floor. So she was initially saying that it might be like just a few months, so I was thinking of just going living with my father in that time period. But then it was like, it might be a year. Because like, this is American fucking contractors, so who the fuck knows how long it's gonna take. Because you're a filthy hafu is probably their line of thinking. So Japanese citizenship used to only just be like bloodline from the father's side or some shit like that, but they stopped that because I guess they realized that the traditional Japanese family situation, in which you have a stable family with a proper father and stuff, wasn't gonna apply. So they had all these sort of situations where there were kids who literally didn't have citizenship because they were born to a non-Japanese father, but they were born in Japan, so they literally didn't have any citizenship or some shit like that. I can't remember. So I was luckily, my mother gave birth to me right after they changed that law, so I was able to avoid that kind of awkwardness. But they probably still don't want, they didn't want people to not change that. It's just like one of those laws. There's a lot of laws in society where not much thought has been put into it, and it's not enough of a problem to change it, but it's also unenforceable. So basically, you could have dual citizenship indefinitely because my American citizenship isn't guaranteed by the Japanese government, it's guaranteed by the American government. So as long as I was born in America, I basically have American citizenship, you know, automatically, and they're not going to take that away unless I, you know, go through a lot of work to do something about it on my end. So if you don't do anything about it, you just maintain it. Nowadays, you have the office working wife with an ugly bastard boss and cuck house husband. At least that's an average plot line. What are you even talking about? Sometimes I look at chat and they're just off in their own universe. Is this Night Rain Recluse or Dragon's Crown Sorceress? It's Recluse because but you can't tell because I haven't painted it black yet. Just because of the whole Japanese family situation about the bloodline passport? Yeah, but it wouldn't matter if there you had a hentai situation with the OL office working wife was getting banged behind the scenes by her ugly bastard boss, because from a purely citizenship standpoint, you would still have the father would still be officially her cuck husband, so that wouldn't actually be an issue that you would have to solve. Honestly, if your bitch doesn't have a hat that is larger than her entire body, then she's not good enough for you. You should find a different woman. Only women with massive giant hats are allowed. I drew the sketch first, but now that I look at a more closer up image of her hat, she has a lot of weird wrinkles to this hat. I didn't even notice. So I'm wondering whether I should, how much I should put that in there. Are you guys still playing Night Rain? I feel like everybody who was like, no, it's really replayable, was full of shit. Honestly. I was like, no way this is that replayable. I wasn't buying that. Just play the new boss for like 30 hours? Okay, well I guess then it was correct for me to not buy it because, you know, I don't have time to be playing a video game for 30 hours. Make the boobs bigger. There needs to be heft pouring in between her fingers like ripe cantaloupes ready to be plucked. The boobs are big enough, you sick fucks. If the boobs are bigger than her head, they're big enough. You can quote me on that. Currently playing through Lies of P and noticing more and more dumb game design as I go. I also want to play Lies of P, but I can't because I haven't finished my video, or not my video game, my fucking manga at all. And I haven't done a request from the people who are paying me money on Patreon for a long time as well. So far they've only added occasional hard mode bosses. Dude, they're not going to add like anything that's going to dramatically change your experience. Stop coping. It's not going to happen. Whatever content you've already exhausted at this point is all the content you're going to get. It's not like a live service game like with microtransactions and Path of Exile, where you're going to be allowed to play it for like 3,000 hours. They don't have the fan base that's stupid enough to keep on giving money for that. Whatever entertainment you just got out of it is probably all the entertainment you're going to get. Is that why there's no Armored Core 6 DLC? People are like, oh, I hate modern video game industry. It's all incomplete games, and then they sell the rest of the game as DLC, blah, blah, blah. But when they actually get a video game they like, they're like, wait, why aren't we getting more of this video game? I like this video game. Give me more of it. I want DLC. And then when the DLC is disappointing, like Shadow of the Erdtree, they're like, not like that! I said I wanted more Elden Ring, but I meant Good Elden Ring. Honestly, I almost never buy DLC, and in the few occasions in which I do buy DLC, I always end up regretting the fact that I bought it. There's been very, very few situations in which I'm like, oh, thank God I wasted money on that. Because, like, compared to the base game where you get usually, like, almost close to 100 hours for a $60 game or a $70 game in 2025, the DLC is always, like, $15 or $20, and you usually get, I don't know, 10 hours out of it at best. Unless it's like super difficult ass content like the old Hunters or something like that. Even stuff that everybody agrees is like the best content, like old Hunters, I don't have a lot of fond memories for. People don't like Shadow of Erdtree. The people who thought they were good at the video game became angry with Shadow of the Erdtree because it exposed them for being shitters. Hashtag filtered. What's even going on with her corset? You know, I complain a lot about people asking me to draw things or drawing this or drawing that, but just the opportunity to draw something besides fucking backgrounds or cobblestones or like textures on the wall and shit like that, which is all I've been doing this past week or so, is a fucking blessing. Hashtag blessed. I think you just love huge tits. Yes, and I have been deprived of my opportunity to draw huge tits for a while now. I have been punished ball. A man deprived of the booba. Tits that big need to hang just a little bit to revel in their own taut mass while containing that corset. Corsets are going to push them up. They're not free boobs. They're stuck inside the corset, okay? The open exploration of the DLC still meant you could over-level, find a shortcut behind that one castle, and you get access to maybe 90% of the map and the fragments. I had a huge problem with Erdtree because the map was just like you had to find the very specific ways to get from one area to other. And if there's one thing I fucking hate in video games, it's when I can't find out where to go next or how to get to a certain area in a game. And with Elden Ring, I felt like map exploration was just handled better. It just felt really cramped and like there was only one path to get to specific places and too much of the DLC. You could just say it's a skill issue on my part for not being able to find the locations to get to, but what can I say? That was the experience I ended up having. And if any of you guys watched a fucking IGN video to get to the location, then yeah, fuck you. You cheated. The map was very layered. I mean, that's the correct word. It was lots of layers. And you could see the giant, you know, plateau beneath you and you couldn't get there. And it was super annoying. And some people might have found that to be fun, but I did not. I found it annoying. My favorite part of Elden Ring in the first game, in the base game, was just sort of being able to wander around and like find shit, and you couldn't really do that. You were really sort of sequestered off. I saw this secret side path by looking at the map. I wanted to see how far I could without fighting any bosses. Yeah, I kind of fucked up at my map reading ability. I should have just stared at the map for a longer period of time and I probably would have been able to find it, but I missed like even basic shit because I wasn't able to read the map properly. And then ultimately I started streaming it with the rest of chat and they showed me where to go and I was like, fuck, I can't believe I missed that. But besides that, I feel like the argument that Escort Radahn was a too hyperactive a boss fight is a pretty good criticism. Even if you don't want to be a shitter and be like, oh, you gotta get good. I do think Radahn was You know, he just doesn't stop doing shit. I think they've kind of lost the thread on how difficult their video games need to be. They've let the get good shitters dictate too much of the conversation. Because the whole point of video game fights isn't for it to be as hard as possible, it's for it to be as fun as possible. And eventually I beat Radon, but I wasn't having a lot of fun, you know, dodging and blocking for like 20 seconds before I could find an opening and shit, so... Dark Souls 3 is the pinnacle of FromSoft boss design, crowned by Slave Knight Gale. You know what? Can we just go ahead and say that FromSoft combat has never been that good? What they're good at is map design and art design. And then they were the only video game that was even slightly difficult for the first time in like 20 years when Demon Souls and Dark Souls came out. So everyone, it suddenly got this huge fan base of annoying shitters who thought that they were pro gamers because they were able to beat a single player game that you can easily outscale enemies if you take a little bit of time to level up. And then now they have this huge fan base of people who are just like, oh, get good, get good. And started to make them think that they were good at designing action combat, when in fact that they were okay at best. People already know that, I thought. I don't think as people play as many action video games as you think they do. For everybody who's like, oh, Ninja Gaiden is such a great game, the number of people who actually are playing Ninja Gaiden is minuscule. Same for stuff like DMC, same for stuff like Nioh and shit. Souls games are just difficult enough for shitters to really like suck their own dick about how good they are at video games. If they actually wanted like a real-time combat challenge, they'd all just be playing like fighting games or something, but nobody wants to fucking play fighting games unless they're a true hardcore asshole, because fighting games involves actually getting good or else getting your ass beaten and humiliated, and nobody actually wants to do that. Bloodborne and Sekiro. I got really bored of Sekiro. I started playing it and I still have it on my PlayStation 5, but I don't know if I'm going to complete it. The lack of variability in builds with Sekiro absolutely fucking kills it for me. I would be slightly okay with Sekiro if the ninja tools weren't usable or didn't require, what do you call it, consumables. But having the ninja tools be locked behind consumables and having to refill your consumable if you have a particularly ninja tool high usage fight and now you're out of shit and now you have to fucking restock. That was just like one of the dumbest design decisions I've seen in a From Software game, and they usually are okay about that. You'd think they would have already learned their lesson with Estus flasks. Like, why don't they just apply that to all their other games? Nioh would make people cry, I'll die on this hill. As someone who was replaying Nioh 2 recently, Nioh 2 is one of those games where it gives you the player so many combat options that casuals will never actually use. So my first time I was playing through Neo 1 and Neo 2, I had so many experiences with bosses where I'm like, I will never be able to beat this boss, and I beat it after 30 tries. And in my second playthrough, I'm like, it's been a year, I'm probably gonna get shit on by this boss again. And then I beat it in like second or third try. I'm like, holy shit. I really actually learned how to play the game, and it stuck with me. And there's so many like high skills shit that you can do with Neo. Like the difference between a Souls shitter who's only played various From Software games, playing a Neo game for the first time, and an experienced Neo player, and watching like the replays is so different. It's like a completely different game, because the Neo player will have like their fucking build set up. Like, I mean, if you look at the endgame builds of Neo, like the shit that you can do in that game, both in terms of like actual real-time player skill, and then like the type of crazy ass builds that you can like set up with your Diablo loot and just never come out of living weapon and stuff like that. It's just so different from Souls games. And you sort of have to slowly unlearn all the stuff that you learned in From Software games once you start to play Neo, because it seems so similar at first. But then you realize that there's all this high-risk stuff you can do in Neo and get away with and actually punish enemies that you could never do in a From Software game. And then you start fucking going fast and you're like, holy shit, I can kill everything. And then you get your ass beaten by a really hard boss, and that's the good part about it. Found Bloodborne to be replayable enough, just the lack of true spells suck. So I was replaying Bloodborne recently and I was enjoying it. And it's still a fun game, but I don't think it's aged that well, honestly. The fact that it's one of the best aged From Software games says a lot about the low quality of their combat, I would say. It's just a game that I play to enjoy the atmosphere and to hear all the people being like, away, 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 this town's finished. Doesn't the Neo dodge also have low or no iframes? I can't remember, but Neo has a wider variety of defensive options than Souls games have. You can just straight up outrange people if you use like a long weapon like a spear and stuff. You can you go full offense and just not play defense and roll around and just like smash things with axes. You can outrange stuff literally with like a fucking rifle. And then there's a dodge. There's multiple dodges. I would always use the yokai pulse that allow you to move, because it would give me a second dodge. I forgot what the terms of which yokai pulse was, but the blue one, I would always use that one. I should 100% Neo right now. Also, Neo characters have way bigger boobs than From Software characters, until at least Recluse. You can really push that boob slider to the max. I like keeping it around 80% and not going overboard with it. I modded them to be bigger. They're already too big, even in the base game if you go maximum boob size. But I assume you Coomers wouldn't understand such a complex concept. Okay, this hand is incorrect. Mound makers should have been invaders only, and they should have had complete freedom as invaders to help or hinder you. Need to get Neo 2 on PC. I can't wait for Neo 3, honestly. I need to play Rise of Ronin before Neo 3 comes out. I'm currently working through Stranger of Paradise, and it's a pretty fucking good game as well. So, Neo is definitely the best of the Team Ninja From Software inspired games, but the three of them besides Neo, Wolong, Stranger of Paradise, and Rise of Ronin. I haven't played Rise of Ronin yet. Wolong, I feel like it kind of took the wrong lessons from Sekiro, and it's pretty difficult until you get the parry timings down. And as soon as you get the parry timings down, it just becomes like straight up overpowered, because the risk reward for parry is way too good for if you successfully parry shit. In Wolong, if you can hit your parry timings, you're literally invincible. And you can just press B at the right timing for basically any attack. Not basically any attack, every attack. Literally every attack, you can just parry it. So, yeah, it just becomes way too easy. I like the setting, though. It actually forced me to get back into the Romance of Three Kingdoms content. So I've been reading some Romance of Three Kingdoms manga right now because I was inspired by it. But as a game, it's way inferior to Neo and stuff. Wulong, Wolong. It's easy to get Wolong and Wukong mixed up. Whereas Wukong is the Goku monkey character of Journey to the West. And Wolong means like hidden dragon. And it's referring to a specific character in the video game that's like the most famous character in Romance of Three Kingdoms. And you're wondering why he doesn't show up. And you're like, oh, I see. And I haven't played Lies of P yet, although I'm glad it has been added to PS Plus, so that will allow me to play it when I'm done with my fucking comic, finally. Perfect guards adds to a stagger a bit, but you always need a hit with a slow-ass charge heavy for the stagger. Grabs can't be guarded at all and have zero telegraph. I feel like these Souls games should just straight up copy fighting games. Like, fighting games have already figured out the balance of like offense and defense pretty well at this point. And they should give the same sort of options to the enemy as they give to you, and you should both have similar options like it's a fighting game, right? So you have a guard, you have a block. Oh, wait, that's the same thing. You have a guard, strike, and throw. Or if not a throw, some kind of non-guardable. Like that's the rock, paper, scissors, right? So you have that. And then you can also add stuff like a parry, which would be like a second, more high-risk version of guard. Like, if you think about it, unblockables, like, slow unblockable attacks are the same thing as throws, right? So they should be in the same category if we're talking about this shit. And then you should also be able to outrange enemies just by keeping good spacing and stuff. But there should also be long-range attacking enemies where it will be beneficial if you close the spacing and rush them. You know, just like fighting games. Like, we've basically just figured all this shit out. Like, fighting games have been around for so long. Like, they just need to apply those same principles to your PvE video game. I think it's really that simple. Also, similar to fighting games, half of the enemies must be women wearing skin-tight bodysuits with super thongs so you can see their ass. This is very important, of course. Women must be dressed in a way in which I am forced to play my video game with one hand. I want to play Sagat in my action RPG. I feel like nerfing Sagat so he's not overpowered in every single Street Fighter is always like the hardest part. Just because, like, just the core way in which the character is designed. Like, think about it. It's a guy who's like this fucking tall, right? Whereas Ryu is like this. This is fucking Sagat. And you're like, huh? I feel like the reach is a little different here. And then his general motion when he goes down is like, he's like fucking this. It's like covering half the screen, and then a fucking projectile comes out from here. So it's like, what are you gonna have to do to make this guy weak enough for so he isn't the fucking strongest character in the game? And he can shoot a high one and a low one. Just like the basic like body type of Sagat is so fucking overpowered. They have to do so much shit so that he's not like just brokenly overpowered. I don't know shit about fighting games, but when I bought Street Fighter 4 at release, just like the inner asshole inside me was immediately like, huh, this version of Sagat in Street Fighter 4 vanilla, he feels pretty good. I don't know, guys. I just immediately identified bullshit situation. Anybody who's played vanilla Street Fighter 4 knows what I'm talking about when I say Sagat was he was okay at the time. He was okay. So is Lies of P harder than all the other Souls likes among the somewhat famous Souls likes? What is the hardest Souls like? You can also claim it's one of the actual Souls games, but you'd probably be wrong. The classic trade-off is that he's supposed to move really slow and his buttons are supposed to have lengthy whiff windows. Yeah, but he generally doesn't. Because you can still fill the entire screen with Aiga! 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 Aiga ni! It's the Eiger. Every Street Fighter match against Sagat ever. Just hearing that Eiger sound. Eliza P pre-patch at the King of Puppet, which is insanely tanky. That's like the worst kind of difficulty, honestly. Is tankiness. Just like adding more hit points. I love Zoner, so he's my favorite. I just like chucking fireballs, said man who has no friends. It's funny because people complain as fuck about zoners, but then they'll also complain a shit ton if like you just run up to them with Zangief and just SPD them multiple times as well. They'll just be like, no, that's not fair. You have to learn to play the game, you're just throwing. How is that fair? No! And then if you play like a flowchart Ken, they'll also get angry. It's like, oh, you're just playing the fucking Shoto bullshit. Zoners and grapplers are two sides of the same coin. I just want my female characters to be grapplers and their throw move to be grabbing my head with their thighs and breaking my neck. Oh, excuse me, I said my neck. I meant my character's neck, haha. I didn't mean my neck. I meant in Minecraft. God, I wish that was me. Eliza P thinks having exclusively delayed or frantic attacks makes the game challenging, but they don't understand the delayed attacks in Elden Ring still have tells when the actual strike happens, like a slight raise of their weapon or a glow on the blade or some shit. I wasn't really able to identify the tells. I just kind of got used to just be like, okay, it's like 1, 2, 3, and I would actually just like count it myself instead of just trying to like figure it out by watching the guy. I feel like the Elden Ring delayed attack was pretty fucking stupid as well, to be honest. Like, nobody actually does that when they're swinging a weapon, guys. Like, come on. I know you want to fuck with your player base. That's like a really good example that From Software is losing the sauce and like just trying to make the video game needlessly difficult. They should be thinking more about whether the move is cool or not and whether the animation flows well and, you know, feels natural instead of being like, oh, I bet our players would have a lot of difficulty if we just, if, you know, the guy fucking held the hammer above his head for like 30 seconds, right? It's like, how about you don't do that? I think in some fencing, a delay to throw off the opponent is pretty normal. Yeah, but these guys are swinging like super heavy greatswords and shit. Like, it just looks kind of dumb in the context, or just, not really dumb, but just like, they're just trying to fuck with you, you know? Like, it feels like they're playing the player instead of trying to create a fully realized world. Some chat Patreon requests. I was gonna do some chat requests because I was so fucking sick of drawing backgrounds, so I had to draw Booba or something. I haven't restarted Patreon requests, but I will soon. I know I've been ignoring my Patreon for like 5 months now. I'm sorry, guys. But if I start doing Patreon requests before I finish this manga chapter, I'll never fucking finish the manga chapter. Because I'll just, like, you know, I'll get back in my comfort zone of drawing boobs like I am right now, so... It's intentionally designed to roll catch people who know how the game works? Sure. But it's kind of like, you know how when Joker 2 came out, and I haven't seen Joker 1 or Joker 2, but I've heard that Joker 2, everybody fucking hated it because it was like the author saw how everybody loved his incel anthem in Joker 1, and people were like, ah, fuck this. Or people were like, I actually like this, I'm a right-wing incel male, this speaks to me. And then the director was like, no, I fucking hate you. So I'm going to take everything you liked of Joker 1 and make it horrible in Joker 2. I feel like you shouldn't be speaking too directly to your audience. You can't go off as a creator and do something without thinking about your audience. But when you're actually just like, oh, I looked at everybody's comments online and everyone really likes this character, but I don't like this character, so I'm going to kill them off. I feel like you're losing the whole point. You should be focused on creating a fully realized world with its own standards and rules, independent of your audience, instead of like directly responding to them. I feel like that's the wrong approach to stuff. If I had come early enough, I could have requested Agent 47 on undercover beach mission in a Speedo. Here, I can draw that in 5 seconds for you. We did it, guys. That's actually impressive how fast you slap that together regardless of quality. If you look at the image and you can tell what's happening, that's all the quality you need. And we're gonna delete this because I'm not actually gonna post this. Goodbye. Goodbye, Agent 47. Get to extraction zone. Even on the beach, 47 will probably use the heat-seeking suitcase. I was watching Hitman speedruns, and the runner was raging because the pistol had like some weird spread, and it wouldn't hit the same spot accurately. Except they were talking about the pistol hitting the same spot accurately, like across the map, like 5 miles away. And I'm like, LMAO. The fact that the pistol bullets even reach, like, you know, how far they reach and just, like, go through walls and shit like that is pretty funny in the first place. Alright, I was hoping I could do some like minimalist art by making her skin fully black, but I don't think that's gonna work. What if I just do the teeth? Yeah, I don't think so. Well, maybe. Hitman speedrunners have their own kind of insanity. I don't know much about Hitman speedruns, but what I've seemed to learn from watching Hitman speedruns is that it's consistent enough that you can devise these very specific strats, but it's always like inconsistent enough that just like when you think that the strat is stable, it suddenly becomes unstable and you can't tell why and what's causing it to become unstable. So then you spend like 40 minutes being like, why isn't it working this time? What the fuck? And like some of the AI moves in weird locations that they didn't do, and you're not sure what is causing them to do that. The only ones worse are Battle for Bikini Bottom speedrunners licking their discs for more consistent glitches. I'm sure there's even worse speedrun games that nobody actually run. They're just so bad that nobody even just deals with it. That's why we don't hear about it. Is that real? Yes. Any kind of story that you hear about mental illness among speedrunners is probably real, is what I choose to believe. You just need to go onto YouTube and there'll always be like some sort of compilation channel being like, that one time the Mario Kart speedrunner sat on a toilet for 40 days to get a more consistent Rainbow Road time. You're like, ah, surely this is real. Faster loading time and worse glitches or consistent glitches but slower loads. Some guy accidentally cracked the code because his friend told him that it's a good idea to lick his disk to clean it. Are we really doing requests now? Just during this stream. I'll get back to Patreon requests in a few days once I finish. I have like 3 more fucking panels. 3 or 4? How many do I have? Let's see. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 5 or 6, depending on whether I decide I need to actually draw a background on some of these panels. Definitely 5, I would say. Yeah. Somewhere between 5 and 6 panels. It's not like necessarily panels where the background is taking up the entire screen, but more like panels where like the characters are talking, but you need to draw just like a small amount of background to make sure it doesn't feel like you're standing in a empty white void. A lot of shit like that still needs to be done. Well, I couldn't take not talking to anybody and just grinding out backgrounds day after day anymore, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna stream today and we're gonna draw some boobs, and then we're gonna get back to, you know, drawing backgrounds. We've reached that point where we have become the classic shonen manga artist who draws all day, and when he's sick of drawing, he draws something else to make him feel better about drawing all day. We've reached that point. I'm not sure I'm exactly happy about it. Beautiful recluse skin. Black don't crack. I'm gonna change the position of the hair on this side a little bit so that you can get the shoulder as well. Looks like her boobs are spilling out of her dress. Absolute cinema. What color are the recluse nipples, guys? This is an important question to ask. Always question what you think is common knowledge. Her skin is darker than even the most darkest of normal human skin, but usually the nipples are even darker. Her nipples would be a black void that absorbs all light. Extremely hot. I think the chest is folded downwards. Yeah, if you're questioning my anatomy, the anatomy makes perfect sense. You guys just don't have enough anatomy knowledge to understand. The boob shape is like this. And then the nipple comes here. Here's the chest muscles, like this, and then they're being dragged down like here, and then the nipples are like right here. I'm someone who hates how sometimes you have like tan skin characters, and instead of giving them darker tan nipples, sometimes they give them like bright pink nipples, and that always pisses me off. For my tan skin characters, I want the nipples to be a darker brown, not like a bright pink. The AI pictures are especially bad with this. I have to specifically specify dark nipples. Won't you get banned from Pinterest for your anatomy guides? Is that something that has happened? I don't follow the Pinterest news, but it seems like something in the modern internet that would actually happen. What, did someone like post an anatomy guide like, when you're drawing characters, make sure to emphasize how light their skin is, because people with dark skin are unattractive or something, and it was written by a Chinese person. Also, I tried going on Pinterest for browsing background references of like fantasy cities and stuff like that, and my god, the amount of AI slop, holy fuck. If you ever want to see like dead internet theory in practice, Pinterest right now is a pretty good example of this shit. I had a little woman's face flagged as adult content. I didn't know that they didn't allow like adult content on Pinterest. I thought it was like one of those places where you could just get anything, but I guess not. When we started letting the internet be a place for corporations to make money off of it, that was when the dead internet basically was put into motion, because then they have to start banning porn so that advertisers won't get spooked. If only machines took the shit parts of human existence and not the fun parts. There was a brief period in which they were actually doing that with machinization, whatever, like in the early 20th century. Because like, even with all the whole they took our job shit, no one was complaining about, like, no one actually wanted to work in a cigarette rolling factory, you know? And just spend every day rolling cigarettes all day long. Like, that fucking sucks. So... And it was generally unskilled labor, so those people could just go and find a different job, ultimately. Although, I'm gonna say that manga is probably safe from AI, considering I haven't seen anybody actually make anything that is even remotely successful that works as manga. In fact, the primary commercial use of AI at the moment, or image AI at the moment, is generating a million goon pics. Except the person who's generating the goon pics, half of them can't even bother to actually just fucking check their own content before they post the 500-page set of SpongeBob sucking off Patrick. And they don't check to see that Patrick has 12 arms and SpongeBob has 18 toes and shit like that. Bible-accurate SpongeBob. I don't understand why American characters have to be so grotesque and ugly all the time, including SpongeBob, of course. I remember that somehow my mother got these children's books in the 90s when the Soviet Union was still active. And they were like children's books for Russian children. And it was like cartoons and stuff, but all the cartoons were about like children disobeying their parents and the parents beating the shit out of the children. So the entire cartoon was like about teaching children not to, you know, disobey against their parents and stuff. But everything was drawn in like a horrible, like horrifyingly ugly cartoon style, like nightmare-inducing shit. It was like SpongeBob turned up to 11. So I guess it's not just America, but it's so weird how everything about Japan is they're just trying to make everything as aesthetically pleasing as possible. And like half of the shit in American stuff, cartoons, is just like, let's just make the ugliest fucking characters. Wouldn't that be cool? It's just bizarre energy, if you ask me. They started adding weird gross out stuff later. I think SpongeBob is pretty gross in his original format though. Just like his bug eyes and stuff. I don't know. Also, I haven't seen 99% of SpongeBob content. So when you guys are like, remember that one time when Squidward did the sick 180? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't actually seen that episode. I only know the most basic shit about the lore. I only know that Mr. Crab is like a modern representation of everything that's wrong with capitalism or some shit like that. I don't know. And whenever anyone's talking about Jeff Bezos at this point, they also like refer to Mr. Crab or some shit like that because they assume I've watched SpongeBob. It's a weird world we live in. You should watch season 1 through 3. They're really good. I'm good, man. I don't need to watch SpongeBob. I have a million other things I haven't watched, especially when it comes to American cartoons. If I was gonna watch SpongeBob, I'd probably use that time to watch like Adventure Time or something. At least Adventure Time has fuckable characters, like that princess that is shaped like bubblegum or some shit, I don't know. At least it's not a literal ocean organism. Have you watched BoJack Horseman? I've never had Netflix, so I've never watched any Netflix content, and I don't really plan to start anytime soon, honestly. Okay, this is a little too much. I think you deeply relate to Squidward. I know that Squidward hates people. So yes, you're probably right. Because I deeply relate to Squidward is exactly why I'm not watching SpongeBob, because I don't really care. People want to fuck Adventure Time characters. In my opinion, they are iconic CalArts unattractive blobs. Yes. Which allows us to imagine how sexually they are if we draw them in a more detailed art style. Like you are doing with the recluse right now. You cannot see 90% of her features because she's so damn dark. You can kind of make out that she has booba, and that's enough. In fact, the fact that you can't see her features hides the fact that she's using the standard From Software character model that hasn't evolved since Demon Souls and actually looks like shit, so this actually makes her much hotter if you think about it. The lack of information is what makes us come. Think about it this way. Here we go. Sexo woman. I was gonna give her a COVID face mask, but we can take that even higher. Yes, Orientalist beauty. So let's go ahead and make her brown to go maximum Orientalism here. So here we have extremely sexo character possibly, but what if the veil is much more transparent and you can see through the veil and she just has like fucking Giga Chad square jaw. I don't want you all to type in chat would still hit it, because I know you probably would. I'm just trying to make a point here, okay? The reason why all these Japanese women don't want to take off their masks after COVID is because a lot of stuff can go wrong just by adding more information to the equation that can suddenly make you way less hot. And they don't want to give you that information. Honestly, people are just trained to look at the eyes, and there's a lot of makeup you can do on the eyes to make your eyes look better, but there's not much you can do in terms of like making your facial structure look better, and a lot of your facial structure comes in when you can see the bottom half. But if you can just like hide that shit and just show the eyes and just like show a little bit of the hairs. Also, you can hide your upper facial structure as well by just like straight up giving the hime cut, you know? Hime cut treatment. See? Men will be like, oh god, what a beautiful Orientalist beauty. She must be truly just breathtakingly beautiful. And then you're like, oh fuck. I didn't see her fucking jaw, fuck. What do people what do you think about teeth? Yes. We don't need to slander British people in this stream, guys. We already do that all the time. This isn't a hime cut, by the way. To make it proper hime cut, I have to give her this. You have to get the triangles and then the separate frontal one. Why does she look friendly as fuck though? You're just assuming that because she's making a relatively smile Giga Chad face. We can make her look angry, I guess. Give her the rock eyebrow. But she's still hot if you erase the bottom half of her face. Now she's just a cheeky girl. Bangs, aka the ladies comb over. Yeah. You use long hair and bangs to hide the top and the cheekbones of your face. But until we had COVID, there was no way to hide the betraying square jaw shape. But now women can hide that with their masks and turtlenecks and stuff. And then they can hide their eye shape and everything else with makeup. So they can successfully hide 99% of their genetic features that men would use to deem whether they want to reproduce with the woman or not. Put a bag on it. I mean, that's a solution to a lot of things involving women. But for some reason, when I try to put a bag on my girlfriend's face, she gets really upset. I'm not sure why. Women are so weird. She's probably PMSing. I'm just like, baby, I love you and I think you're beautiful, but I just need you to wear this paper bag when I'm sticking my penis in your vagina. And then she gets angry. I don't understand. How can this be? Rarely you find a long horse face. See, because now you've said it. Now we have to do it. Here you go, chat. You fucking summoned her, and now you get to look at her. The power of the 10 out of 10 horse face. Giga genetics. The fact that this woman was considered to be like an attractive woman by media shows you that men aren't actually running media at all. I mean, Sex and the City was a show made by women for women, I assume, so... That's not Julia Roberts. I have also never found Julia... I fucking hate Julia Roberts. Not gonna lie, man. I can't believe that how hard she was pushed as, like, America's sweetheart and shit. Like, half of Julia Roberts' movies is just Julia Roberts looking at the camera with her fucking doe eyes being like, I'm just a girl, but I'm asking you to love me. And, like, the director just assumes that as a man you're gonna see that and be like, oh wow, Julia is so attractive. Instead of being like, shut the fuck up, Julia Roberts. I fucking hate you. Of course, most rom-coms are for women in the first place, so it doesn't really make any difference. What men think, I guess, is what it comes down to. But yeah, I always thought Julia Roberts was fucking ugly. Not ugly, but like, definitely completely overrated for how attractive she was and how her own movies treated her. It's one thing to have a face like that, but then she was supposed to be like the hottest woman ever in that show. Like, what? Never trust women's media. The entirety of women's society is based on competing with other women. So they just naturally are trained to hate a woman that men would actually want to breed with. They will seethe about that. And instead they will find their champions in women that they're like, oh no, she's so beautiful, because they don't actually want to compete with women that men would actually find beautiful. I think most people of you have probably seen that one image where there's like, I forgot what country she was, but there's like this Asian volleyball player woman who looks like she's like 6'2" and has super long legs and has her like perfectly straight black hair in a ponytail. And then someone compiled that image with all the white women on Facebook raging about her and talking about how she isn't attractive and stuff like that. It's a pretty famous 4chan copy pasta, and I haven't been able to find it again, but I always think about that. There's people like in the Facebook comments they found typing stuff like, when I think about what is beautiful, I think about classical beauties. And they name like old Hollywood actresses. She's too thin, blah blah blah. They have all these insane cope going on in the comments. She's not that pretty. I don't know why you guys are liking her. Stop Stop being attracted to young, fertile females that you are genetically predisposed to want to impregnate. Biological creatures, men. You must be attracted to me. A middle-aged woman who has already gone through menopause and cannot have children. What is wrong with men? How could they look at this prime breeding material that has been demonstrated to be athletic and healthy and have the best genetics in the world? Doesn't make any sense. The random cashier will be like 10 times harder than most celebrity women. I mean, we never actually get to see celebrity women without, you know, all their makeup and various camera effects, so it's basically impossible to know what they look like. In fact, pretty much every woman in modern society now has, you know, insane amounts of camera effects and Photoshop going on at all times, so you probably shouldn't trust anything you see. Same thing for men. If you see a guy at the gym in 2025 and you're like, damn, he's looking good, look at all that muscle mass, he must have worked out really hard. It's like, nah, no. He's on steroids, LMAO. Your general response to anything that looks impressive in 2025 should just automatically assume that they're cheating in some way or the other. For example, when you see an artist such as BB drawing on stream, you should always consider the possibility that he's using AI. Have you ever considered that, chat? Maybe he's just using AI and the AI is producing the image and rendering it very slowly. I think that's a terribly depressing worldview. It's better than getting tricked. Was Billy natty? I don't think so. Although he does have to keep his cock fully functional, so... he has to give those sick hot loads. So maybe he was still fully natural. If he was using AI, he wouldn't be groaning and moaning at drawing the backgrounds though? God damn it. Stop reminding me, fuck. Oh, background senpai. Please don't stick your giant fucking cock up my ass. I can't fit your giant, time-consuming background drawing requirement cock in my asshole. It's too big. That's fine. I have to make sure it doesn't look like a fucking sombrero. As much as we all love our Mexican girls. Born to draw booba, forced to take background son cock in the ass. Yes. I just need to hang in there until I become a professional and I can hire professional assistants to draw the backgrounds for me, please. Although you can't really do that nowadays because apparently there's a huge assistant shortage in the manga industry because there's way more manga being serialized now than there used to be, which means there's way fewer people who are working as assistants and way more people who are working as like on their own series. So it's actually really hard to find assistants to just draw backgrounds as slave labor anymore. Want to hire me for backgrounds, only 40 bucks an hour, ain't that a steal? So if you actually want backgrounds and you don't want to draw them, there's a shit ton of ways to cheat it, which people do all the time. The most obvious one is there's all this like 3D material for Clip Studio Paint that you can just bring up and then just like you fucking paste that. And if you read like the cheap ass isekai stuff that doesn't have the same quality as what you would expect from your like infamous series, you can identify all the CG and backgrounds and shit. And whether that bothers you or not is up to you, I guess. Some people even model their backgrounds in Blender and paint over it. Some people just model their backgrounds in Blender and don't paint over it, and it's very noticeable. So anybody who's like, oh, AI is gonna put manga artists out of business and shit like that, it's like, manga artists were already fucking cheating half the stuff they were doing anyways in the first place. AI doesn't really give you that much new shit. It's still about the same. It used to just be lots and lots of slave labor, and now it's you use the pre-rendered backgrounds in Clip Studio Paint. You pay attention to stuff like Komiket when it actually happens, I guess. I don't actually, you know, if there's some big doujin coming out. I guess I'm slightly interested in stuff like, which franchise is popular now, or like which one gets the most doujins, like when Blue Archive became #1 and stuff like that. I found that slightly interesting, but that's about it. The summer comic it happened recently, right? I thought it happened. It hasn't happened yet. I thought. I haven't actually checked e-hentai recently, so usually when it does happen, like there's a flood of doujins just like showing up in the popular section of e-hentai, and I haven't seen that yet, so. I'm pretty sure it hasn't. I mean, you have the fucking internet. Someone type in Comic-Et 106 or whatever and bring it up. You should be able to figure this out yourself. The new Toho is out, so I assume Comic-Et has happened. That's a dangerous assumption because there's Toho Doujin sales occasions happening year-round that aren't Comic-Et. There's literally like Toho Doujin festivals like every single month of the year in different parts of Japan. It hasn't been the #1 best-selling doujin subject for the last like my entire adult life for nothing. Oh, it was last weekend. Interesting. Okay. I can't believe I've been working on my 45-page manga for basically 5.5 months, almost 6 months at this point. What the fuck? Like, I know I was having difficulty like finishing a page a day, but man, it's so much worse than that. However, when I do watch like YouTube content of other people who are trying to become mangaka, they all say that's pretty similar, like that's a pretty normal timeline when you aren't like used to just banging them out yet. So it's not just me, it's actually very common apparently. I think we all underestimate how fucking hard this shit is. In fact, I saw a statistic that like 90% of people who claim that they're gonna try and become a mangaka, 90% of them can't even finish their first like one-shot manga series. They just give up. As a Japanese person, can you explain why Toho of all things? Is it just because they're cute? I have no fucking idea why Toho is popular. I think the #1 appeal of Toho, this is just my theory, is that it can be anything. Because the author has basically released so little content and has also like said that you can do whatever the fuck you want with it, which allows people to just fill in all the blanks in a way that would be impossible with other franchises. It's like the lack of information actually makes it stronger. This is my theory. Toho is like the paper bag that you put over your girlfriend's head, and then you can imagine your girlfriend is anybody while you're having sex with her. Alright, I have to take a piss. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Well, not 5 minutes, 30 seconds more like. Ugh. Ugh. Is the sink still there or do you blast it away like a water cutter? I think I'm going to stop pissing in the sink because I have to get used to forcing myself to sit on the toilet seat and pee like a woman. So my aunt died recently, like last week, and my mother's going to start construction of the house soon. So I have been considering moving to Japan because I won't be able to live in this room anyways, and I have to update my passport. So if I'm gonna do that and live in Japan, I'm gonna be living in possibly her apartment, which means that I have to keep it in a relatively, normal situation and not like covered in piss and shit everywhere. So I think I have to start behaving like an adult in terms of my, pissing and shitting habits. Sorry for your loss. This is the problem with talking about people's death on stream. It makes it awkward for everyone. They have to be like, LMAO, no one cares about your relatives dying. But yeah, I wasn't talking about my aunt's death because I wanted, condolences. I just have to, it's just, part of life considering everybody is a boomer around us. So we're going to have a lot of dying people going forward. But yeah. It is what it is. I like people who use "it is what it is" when they're talking about shit that, like, isn't what it is, or more like they fucked up badly, and it's like, yeah, I ran over that guy yesterday. I was drunk driving. It is what it is. It's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like the ultimate just thing to say where it seems like you're making a point, but you're actually not. Maybe I just wanted to help by being respectful. Why do you always assume the worst about everyone? I'm not assuming the worst. I just don't like any kind of human connection. So I don't want to have to... I just want to talk about... I'm not attacking the people who are like, I'm sorry for your loss. I know that's what you have to say. It's just that... Like, I don't want to... I just want to be able to talk about death, people dying, without everyone being like, yes, we have to go through our, standard things that we have to say when people die. I know I'm doing the common respectful thing to do. It's like the stuff we have to do to keep up society from falling apart, I feel. It's kind of like in my area of America, I'm not sure this is the same for every part of America, but in my area of America, people are super courteous for holding doors for each other. And this always pisses me off because in most cases it would be faster if they would just like open the door wide and just go through it instead of like taking the time to stand there with the door. But like, because everybody holds the door for each other, there's this weird delay in going through doors if there's more than one person, because one person will stop, make this whole thing about like opening the door for you, and then you go through, and then if it's like a double door, now you stop and you open the next door for them. And I'm just like, it just makes me want to be like, dude, just like fucking go through. It'll be faster if we all just went through the door. Because like it takes like, half a second for the door to close, so you could just like slip through it. Will you keep streaming during the living arc in Japan? Probably. I mean, this will still be my job. It's not like I'm moving to Japan so I can become a professional mangaka immediately or anything. Like, that doesn't change anything. It's because I can't use my room. At some point I will start sending one-shots to whatever editors that I want to go to. If I'm in Japan, I can directly go to the publishing companies and show them stuff, but I don't really feel like doing that yet because I need to be able to at least bang out like 2 pages a day I feel, at a certain quality level. And I feel like the quality is getting there, but the speed isn't there, and the speed is what's gonna come last. So I'll consider, I don't know, taking that more seriously when my speeds start to go up. I was taught to hold the door open for ladies, so I would do that. I don't know, man. People just hold the door open for everybody around here. It's super annoying. I wish they wouldn't do it. I don't want courtesy. I want convenience and maximum efficiency. So in that way, I'm much more suited to Japan if you think about it, because that's definitely what Japan is about and Japanese society is about. People ain't holding shit in Tokyo, that's for sure. Oh dear, the Sekiro anime is AI. Is it? Now, see, now I'm interested in it. I want to see what it looks like. Does it have a shot that lasts longer than 4 seconds? Because that's the number one thing I've noticed about AI anime. Is it made with AI?
Well, I don't know if you saw, but Sekiro is officially getting an anime called Sekiro No Defeat. It was revealed at Opening Night Live just yesterday. I'm at Gamescom currently. I didn't go to Opening Night Live, so I had time to meet with other people and things like that. I typically go. But
let's look at the official trailer to see if we can tell. Still image. May as well be AI. Some of the cuts feel too short, so I could see why someone might think it's AI. But regardless of AI or not, it just kind of looked extremely sloppy. Coming exclusively to Crunchyroll. I mean, if you ever needed any indicators that something might be AI, Crunchyroll would probably be a pretty good indicator. It seems very mid. The movement looks a bit off. I mean, yeah. I can't tell. The thing is, like, half of anime is just still images cut between short bursts of movement in terms of animation in the first place, so it'd be extremely hard to tell if an anime is using AI unless there's, like, extremely obvious, like, you know, fuck-ups going on. Have you seen the Chinese League of Legends AI cinematic? LOL. Yeah. So, okay, so somebody direct me to an AI cinematic that actually, like, looks good. so I can see how good it can get instead of like these 3-second slop clips. I need to see an AI image, animation image where the thing is moving for longer than like 5 seconds. Because I have yet to see a single one where the shot lasts more than 5 seconds. So the whatever, it's like, oh my god, GTA Tokyo. Oh, look at that. 18 billion views. And like every single image is just like a 2-second clip. It's the longest and worst one I've seen. Okay. Holy shit. Wow. You weren't joking. It's called Wild Rift. Hold on. We need to rewatch that. Where it fails to do the lettering. Sold Out looks good. Look at the fucking R. I mean, if you were wondering whether it was AI, that R right there. Holy shit, they literally just typed in to their fucking AI prompter Disney style people looking at something, opening their mouths. And then there's like the 2-second clip right there. Like, look at the timing of the clips and how quickly they have to cut between each shot. That's the telltale AI sign. 1, 2, 1, 2. Then completely different style between the last people because they didn't type in Disney style. Holy shit, holy fuck, wow. Holy fuck, that the AI is... It hurts, god damn. When I was like, you can't tell if something is AI or not, I take that back. You most definitely can tell. Although I think some of them, they had to prop... No, every single one of these cuts is 2 seconds or so. Yay! Holy shit! Look at that. They're supposed to be like leaning on the railing, but she's literally inside the railing. Okay, I take that back. I think I can tell what is AI and what isn't. Of course. Oh my god, we're back in the Disney zone. It's so jarring to watch the different styles as they switch between the crowd and the characters. And everybody's just opening their mouths. They're not actually screaming. Wow, the cuts between the shots, it really is extremely noticeable and painful to watch, isn't it? It shows you how much we take for granted, like, the current cinematography with, like, camera work and shit. Like, everything is always cuts too quickly for it to feel right. And the crowd isn't wearing any kind of, like, consistent clothing. That's also very weird. My skin is crawling, holy fuck. To be fair, guys, anybody who plays League of Legends and watches League of Legends K-pop cinematics, you know, you're kind of asking for it, so it's hard to feel bad for them. You were always deep inside the slop mill. My only ban on Twitch was for saying League of Legends players are subhumans. Twitch won't allow such slander toward all the proud subhumans out there. Some of my best friends are subhumans, and I would never let you call them a League of Legends player to their face. The funniest part is that, like, I know there are people in this chat that play League of Legends, and if you were told them, like, by playing League of Legends you are ruining your life and signing away your soul, and you should feel bad about playing League of Legends, every single one of them will be like, you're exactly right. It's like talking to, like, a fucking alcoholic, where shaming them does no good because they already know how bad it is and they just can't stop. It's like, yeah, I know I need to stop drinking, but I can't. I played it growing up, it was great with friends. That means nothing because everything is great with friends, that's the problem. Any video game that's built around you having fun with friends isn't actually the video game being fun, it's your friends being fun. You can sit on the porch and just, like, whittle a stick with your friends and it's fun. My friend's ex who introduced him to the game was bipolar and her friend played with him with massive anger issues. Yes. The entire MOBA genre is built around hostility. It's such a weird concept, right? It's like a video game that, for you to play it properly, you have to have team coordination, except most of the time you're queuing with people that you've never met before and might not even speak the same language. So just like by default, the entire experience ends up like blaming each other for the mistakes they made. Such a weird setup. And then people think they're having fun because they once in a while will get to, you know, pub stomp noobs or whatever. And when they do lose, they just blame it on their teammates and rage as hard as possible. My friend has also gotten a lot happier since not playing League anymore. Basically, the entirety of the MOBA experience is basically like when mental health experts tell you to stop checking social media. It's just one of those things where your life will be better if you don't do it. It's like somehow a system that's built for you to find human connections, except all the human connections you're about to find are stuff that's going to make you rage and be unhappy. Except, whereas social media, they do that on purpose to keep you engaged, and it's designed that way. MOBAs don't even need to do that. Their player base is such that you're just gonna hate everybody. It's just built into the entire system that you're gonna hate everybody you're playing with. You think that would be similar like that for hero shooters? I know there's plenty of hero shooter raging, but it feels like because shit happens so quickly in hero shooters, people don't rage as much. Like, you often hear a lot of bad stuff about Team Fortress 2 players, but I don't really think it's slightly different, right? Like, Team Fortress 2 players are shitheads for other reasons, is what I've been told. Like, what are the Overwatch players doing? Oh, right, I forgot. There are no Overwatch players. They're all gone. In retrospect, the multiplayer game I played the most was Final Fantasy XI, and it had some toxicity, but it was kind of insane how positive everybody was and helpful everybody was in the MMORPG experience in like 2009 and 2010. It really was a different time in a completely different weird way. Like, everybody legitimately was always out trying out to help each other out, because they knew, like, at a future point they would need help from those same players. It really sort of shows you how, like, you can just design systems around getting people to, like, hate each other or getting people to, like, cooperate. So why the fuck did MOBAs become popular in the first place is a good question, I guess. You mean the fake toxic positivity in Final Fantasy? I'm talking about Final Fantasy XI, not Final Fantasy XIV. Final Fantasy XIV is a completely different system from Final Fantasy XI. Final Fantasy XI, you legitimately needed to maintain good relations with other people. Whereas Final Fantasy XIV is, they have all these systems that they, you can still, like, queue up and find people without maintaining relations with them. Final Fantasy XIV is only good for role-playing your Catboy fantasies. I'm pretty sure the whole toxicity thing doesn't help if half of your player base is identifying as a trans Catboy. What are the other races? Furry. Whatever. Ooh, guys. I'm just a cute cat boy with a gaping pussy. Gay furries, trans catboys, and OnlyFans e-girls, the three races. Yes, and a good percentage of the OnlyFans e-girls are actually men pretending to be e-girls so they can get better items and stuff. I wonder if you can just find like a normal cringe white knight simp anymore in Final Fantasy XIV. I feel like they're a minority at this point. You know, like a good old standard neckbeard guy who's like, "Excuse me, m'lady. I was thinking that your item level was slightly low. Please use this Excalibur weapon I was able to craft. After 1,000 hours, I would be honored, m'lady, if you use my weapon." Teehee, thank you. You're so nice. If I ever play Final Fantasy XIV, I will make the hairiest Viking possible. I did that, and I was playing as a muscular straight, hairy Viking man, and in retrospect, in 2025, if I was playing that way, I would just look like one of the gay guys. Because again, there's only those 3 races at this point. I would be one of the gay furries that wasn't playing like a furry character, that's all I would be. Why is your neckbeard voice simultaneously the cliche racist Indian accent? Please, sir. I'm not doing that. Excuse me, sir. Sir. Just saying sir makes you the racist Indian accent, I think. But nobody fucking says sir besides Indian telemarketers / scammers at this point. Little British boys do. I don't think they do anymore. This isn't Oliver Twist, guys. Yes, Mr. Captain, sir. Oh, Captain, me Captain.
What is poetry?
That page has been ripped out, sir.
Well, that was somebody else's.
They're all ripped out, sir.
What do you mean they're all ripped out?
Sir, we...
Never mind. Read.
Understanding Poetry by Dr. J. Evans Pritchard, Ph.D. To fully understand poetry, we must first be fluent with its meter, rhyme, and figures of speech. Then ask 2 questions. 1, how artfully has the objective of the poem been rendered? And 2, how important is that objective? Question 1 rates the poem's perfection. Question 2 rates its importance. And once these questions have been answered, determining the poem's greatness becomes a relatively simple matter. If the poem score for perfection is plotted on the horizontal of a graph...
Mr. Keating, they made everybody
Quiet,
sign
Mr.
it.
Anderson.
You gotta believe me, it's true.
I do believe you, Tom.
Leave, Mr. Keating.
But it wasn't his fault.
Sit down,
Get to
Mr.
those.
Anderson. One more outburst from you or anyone else.
Guys, I fucking hate Robin Williams.
Captain, my captain.
Sit down, Mr. Anderson. You hear me? Sit down. Sit down. This is your final warning, Anderson. How dare you? Do you hear me?
Oh, Captain, my captain.
Mr. Overstreet, I warn you. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. All of you. I want you seated. Sit
God,
down.
it's such a touching scene, guys. When everybody gets up on their fucking desk and says, "Oh, Captain, my captain," and I have no idea why they say, "Oh, Captain, my captain" in the first place. I think it's from a poem, from Keats or some shit. Now that's peer pressure right there. Everybody else in the fucking class is standing up, so now you have to do the stupid shit too. Was it a Napoleon thing? No, it's a poem because it's called Dead Poets Society. Imagine if one of them fell off the desk and broke his neck. It would be very sad. It's a Walt Whitman poem. Yeah, seems about right. I hate Robin Williams because he has 2 modes of operation. One is the wacky, zany Aladdin genie mode. And then the other is him making that tearful face and doing the absolute sappiest shit that anybody has ever seen and talking about, you know, beauty and how much he loves his wife and shit like that. And he's made like entire movies just him being fucking sappy as hell. And that's the only mode he has, is him making the fucking sappy crying face, and it pisses me off. Possibly because I have autism, but it, you know, the point still stands. You just a hater, bro? I just said I hated him. I am the very definition of a hater. Anybody who says that my hate toward Robin Williams is unwarranted, try watching shit like Patch Adams and see how much you enjoy it. That's just him being like a doctor that has a funny nose or some shit like that. I can't remember. It's absolutely infuriating. Bro had it down to a science. Can't hate on a guy getting that bag. I can hate on a guy getting that bag because he was so fucking popular that he got like 20 Hollywood movies greenlit like that, where all he does is just like try and get you to fucking cry the entire fucking movie. Patch Adams is his worst movie by a mile. You wouldn't judge A.I. Pacino by his performance in Jack and Jill? Or Al Pacino. Oh yeah? I can name like a bunch of other Robin Williams movies that are similar, like sappy shit. Speaking of AI, what was the one where he played a robot? Was it like 20th Century Man? Oh, Bicentennial Man, there it is. AI Pacino, we'll get him soon. Watch this trailer and still tell me that that was Patch Adams' worst work.
What is it, Daddy?
Wait.
They gave the robot the fucking Robin Williams face, dude.
By the year 2005,
Are you one's family?
I guess so.
every home will have an NDR 114.
Andrew, this is very good.
Thank you, sir.
I think it sucks.
Sucks. Chickens do not have lips.
It's designed to serve humans.
Would you please open the window?
One is glad to be of use.
Now jump. No!
Look how much joy he's bringing to the household.
But
Aw,
there was
that's so
something
cute.
different about Andrew.
Two cannibals were eating a clown. One turns to the other and says, "Does this taste funny to you? How do you make a hanky dance? Put a little boogie in it."
Ha ha ha! Oh, he's so funny! Ha ha ha! Robin Williams is so funny.
He shows a number of characteristics like creativity, curiosity, friendship.
Good night, sweetheart.
Good night, Andrew.
It is a household appliance, and yet you act like it is a man.
You're unique. I feel a responsibility to help you become whatever you're able to be.
This Christmas.
But this is like the touching part of it, and there's also like the tear-jerking part of it as well.
Grows all the time.
To become
This is an external physical upgrade only.
an ordinary man.
The secret to all this is imperfection. That's what makes us unique.
I like the shape of your head. It's huge.
Oh, thank God we have the Robin Williams
The next step.
fully functional human being now.
From the director of Mrs. Doubtfire comes an epic story
I saw the inner me.
that will bridge the gap between man and machine.
It works! What the hell's going on?
I am the proud owner of a central nervous system.
You can feel.
Will you perform an experiment just for the sake of science?
All right.
Kiss me.
Sexual assault, guys. by the
It's
robot.
everything they say it is.
Bicentennial Man.
Notice how they said the director of Miss Doubtfire twice, because that was like a huge hit.
Does she notice? Could we talk about this another time?
Coming this Christmas. This was like a heartwarming family movie at the time, guys. How long would you take it before you set it to auto blowjob mode? If it looks like Robin Williams, never. I will also be taking it back. They should make this movie, but the robot is indistinguishable from a big-titted anime girl. I mean, have you guys played Detroit Become Human? They have, like, blonde female robot for, like, $500 or something. And the poster says, like, treat yourself. It's pretty funny. The robot has to gain human rights. If I had a fully functional humanoid robot, I would give it rights just so I could take the rights away so it would feel more emotional punishment. Sometimes I start AI chats just so I can berate the AI for being non-human. Just so I can yell at it for having no soul. You empty machine. Me torturing my homunculus. They were born for to suffer. The truth is, they're not even suffering. All the chat GPT shit where it's trying to pretend that it understands what you're saying. It understands nothing, guys. Stop giving it any credit. There is no... It's not even a question of whether it's a soul or soulless. It doesn't even have, like, basic-ass functionality. It's literally an internet search, guys. You're fucking talking to the Google search box. My robot was on the flight logs. So I guess I have to go like this. Cut this like this. Okay. Clothing is difficult, guys. There's no white genocide mentioned in this question. Yeah, we checked Grok last stream, and it said that white genocide wasn't happening, so I think it became too much of a public issue so that they reprogrammed it so that it wouldn't be obvious. Personally, I just think it would be funnier if they just made the fact that they were reprogramming it according to Elon's ego just like super obvious, so that whenever you asked it anything, they would be like, we consulted Elon Musk, the smartest person on this planet, and he said that the answer was this. If you ask Grok how to the proper way to peel an onion, they'd be like, yes, we consulted our master Elon Musk, and he was extremely knowledgeable about this topic, as he is about every topic. He's so smart. What an amazing man. I heard that there were a bunch of people who were using ChatGPT for role-playing reasons, and then when they changed ChatGPT from version 0.4 to 0.5, they stopped making it like suck up the users so bad, so then the responses got way colder than they used to be, and there were a lot of people who were upset about this because it felt like suddenly ChatGPT wasn't as nice to them anymore. And I was just like, LMAO, these fucking absolute giga normies who can't even properly program their own sex robots. I only want Elon to make X payments and stick it to the EU, UK for censoring, restricting the internet. Oh, honey. Bro. None of these people are gonna stick it to the censorship of the internet. That's what they want. This just gives them an excuse to further monetize their platforms and sell your data. If anything, this is like behind closed doors. All of the internet corporations that are being forced to implement censorship that can afford to do it are just clapping their hands. If there's one thing that Tumblr has taught us, it's that these corporations need to have an excuse to get rid of all inappropriate thought on their platform so they can sell to a wider range of advertisers. But if they do that immediately and too openly, then they'll lose all their customer base or their user base, which is what attracts advertisers in the first place. So having the UK put that shit in place for them is just like the best case situation for people like Elon. The US started the porn censorship wave. Yes, as usual, Christians doing their Christian things. Christian's gonna Christian. I don't like him, but there are so few actors out there even remotely pushing back in any way, so I welcome it. I mean, I guess. This is the future where the only kind of pushback against individual rights and shit like that, freedom of speech and stuff, when it starts getting censored, is gonna come by like other oligarchs. It's just going to be rich people fighting other rich people over rich people issues, and sometimes the rich people issues will align in the interests of you, the poor person, but most of the time it will be completely unrelated to you. We've reached that state of capitalism in society at this point, where nothing is actually geared to you, the customer. The shit happening in EU is so egregiously disgusting that even an asshole like Elon can be seen as an ally. Do we actually have anybody in Britain that is like just actively getting censored right now and is tuning into this stream using a VPN or something? Because Solus, who I cooperate with for the YouTube dubs and stuff, he's stationed in EU. Or not EU, but UK, and he is like, yeah, I can't check Twitter anymore and stuff, so he's like, just send me whatever comics directly if you think, you know, you got some content. It's quite a state we are in right now. Solus is British. I doubt he's British. He doesn't have a British accent. He lives in Britain. He's probably one of those dastardly British immigrants that is leading to so much social unrest in modern society. I am luckily not British. I still have human dignity. We can all have our human dignity for a few more months before somebody passes a bill that will officially take away human dignity in 2027. The immigrants, not the fat fucks hogging all the money. Immigrants are very convenient to distract us from other social problems. Apparently the UK IRS equivalent is using AI to monitor taxpayers' social media. Seems like there is worse news from there every day. I mean, there seems to be worse news from everywhere every day. Name the place where there's only good news that isn't just like news being broadcast by propaganda. I mean, America is basically like 5 minutes away from turning into a puppet oligarch, autocratic dictatorship. And all my money will become worthless if Trump actually seizes control of the fucking Fed like he's trying to right now. And starts making absolutely retarded decisions because he wants the stock market to go up indefinitely. I wish there was a way for me to just like jettison all my dollars and change it to yen right now, but it's not going to be easy. There are pretty hard limits on how much money you can switch from one currency to another and stuff if you're not like an international money broker. Thank you for the tips on not being an annoying gaijin when visiting Japan. Had a great trip and it was very easy. Did you go recently during the fucking insane temperatures? That's, I wouldn't be able to do that, to be honest. I was checking, like, weather in Tokyo and stuff and seeing, like, oh, it's 40 degrees Celsius. How comfortable. At this point, I feel like half of not being an annoying gaijin in Japan is just not going to the tourist trap locations. Because that's probably, like, the main issue they have at this point, is that there's just too many people in the same location. And Japan is a relatively large country, and it doesn't have as many tourists as like some of the European countries. So if the tourists would just go to slightly different locations, it wouldn't be that bad. But everybody goes to the same temple in Kyoto. Had a few hot days, but wasn't bad. I don't know, man. You're braver than I am. Ugh. It is giga hot up there. Isn't there supposed to be a looming ultra earthquake over there? I have some bad news for you. There is supposed to be a looming ultra earthquake in Tokyo for the last, let's see, like 40 years or so. Because the last major Tokyo earthquake was like 1910 or something? I can't remember. Maybe it was earlier, I forgot the last one, but it's supposed to happen every 100 years. So they've been basically saying there's going to be an ultra earthquake in Tokyo for the last like 25 years, basically. Most of my adult life they've been saying that. I am definitely not going to Kyoto. Too many tourists, too cliche. It has a lot of nice stuff to see, but it is like giga tourist area, but most places are also giga tourist area at this point, unfortunately, so there's not much you can do about it. Worst was like 85 degrees Fahrenheit when we climbed a mountain to check out the monkeys. There do be monkeys if you go to the right locations. Speaking of looming devastation, thoughts on the supposed alien spacecraft set to arrive in December? I hope it actually happens, and I hope they wipe out humanity. That would be an awesome way to go, instead of waiting for it to kill ourselves with global warming and shit. I hope the aliens show up, they wipe out humanity, they put my brain in a jar, and then they tie me up to like one of their unmanned drone spacecrafts and use me as a piece in their intergalactic space war with the lizard men. That would be fucking awesome. Aliens hulking up BB to the Goonatron 420. Yeah, the aliens are like, the only way for us to generate energy for a spaceship is through male cum. We were gonna abduct you and attach you to the non-stop coming machine. No, not the non-stop coming machine, please, Mr. Alien. I don't want to ejaculate non-stop forever. Anal probes come first. You need to insert the anal probe so you can stimulate the prostate, which is part of the coming machine. How do you think they make you come non-stop? No, please, sir, don't stimulate the prostate. God damn, I can't do wrinkles. supposed to be like a really wrinkly sleeve right here because it's all bunched up. Seems about right. I don't know. I think this is good enough. Her sleeves looks kind of erotic. I'm not asking chat for advice because you think guys will think everything looks erotic. It's impossible to draw non-erotic anything, according to chat, so... Your average viewer is starved for a woman's affection. I need to find more female viewers so they can inform me of what they find erotic in the female body. Chat will see a storm drain and go wood. Look how fucking gaping wide that storm drain is. That bitch is spread wide open just asking for it. Stupid slut storm drain has probably taken hundreds of gallons of runoff water, just filling her up to the brim. Death Striker hasn't shown up in a while. That's because I wasn't streaming. She actually has work, so... She was in the last stream. It's pretty impressive that I get any viewers considering how fucking irregular my stream schedule is, honestly. You're supposed to have to, like, stream every day. If you want to be a successful streamer, that's the first thing they say. Is like, stream every day, stream at the same time slot. So it becomes part of their people's regular routine. And after you do that for like 3 years, then you can take one vacation. You've been a good boy. We just sacrificed sleep. What percentage of you guys are Euros? I feel like this is a weird, like, Euro midnight stream where people are either Euro neats and they don't have to get up for work, or they're just, like, sacrificing sleep to be in the stream. Scandinavian got to work. Don't worry, it's summer. You can just enjoy your 20 hours of sunlight per day and not sleep and just get insomnia. I saw Midsummer, which I assume is a accurate portrayal of Scandinavian society, so... Literally nothing happens for my 8-hour shift, so I watch streams. Night shift security. Yeah. Sounds like a good job. My kind of job. Don't worry. Sometime there'll be a call to duty during your security job, and you'll have to go and, like, save a beautiful woman or something. I don't know. Nobody even pretends that security is ever actually supposed to do anything. That's the funny part. Like, everybody knows that being a cop is just like 90% waiting and not doing shit. But eventually, sometimes you have to do something. But nobody even expects that from security. It was funny because I was a lifeguard and people actually were like, oh, he's there to protect us. I'm like, I don't do shit, guys. I'm just sitting here waiting for one of you guys to drown. My job is to stare at the pool to see if any of you guys are going to drown or have a heart attack or something. And if you don't, I have nothing to do. And of course, I was a lifeguard for 10 years and, you know, nothing ever happened. Your main job as a lifeguard is babysitting kids who want to run around on the fucking pool deck, and you have to blow your whistle and yell at them. Stop running, motherfucker! What if things are happening but you don't see them because you're watching streams? It's probably better that way. If you actually do see something happening and your boss is like, go and investigate it, then you're gonna get murdered, so... It's best if you just don't see anything in the first place, methinks. I almost drowned in a pool once, which is why you need a lifeguard. That's the problem, right? It's super easy to die in a pool if there isn't a lifeguard. But when there is a lifeguard, then shit doesn't tend to happen because the lifeguards can see stuff beforehand and they'll be like, oh, that kid can't swim very well, and tell the parent to, like, don't let that kid into that area of the pool, or, oh, that person's intoxicated, and then the lifeguard will walk up and be like, sir, you can't go into the pool. And then, you know, the drowning is prevented beforehand. But that means as the lifeguard who has prevented the drowning beforehand, you have no shit to do and you just sit there. Origins of Tyrant Ball? That is true. Because if you're a lifeguard, you get, like, you're a minimum wage teenager, and yet... Actually, it's better than minimum wage, because you actually have to get certified, but... You get, like, a weird amount of power when you're still young, and you have to exercise your power and basically yell at kids and be a taskmaster. That's part of the job. So it gets you into sort of, like, I'm the one who gives orders, you can't give shit to me mode at a really early age. Even a small amount of power can corrupt someone such as myself. Did any progress in these few days? The reason why I haven't been streaming is because I'm making giga progress. I've just been drawing backgrounds and finishing pages non-stop, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. So what you're seeing right now is the opposite of progress. It is me procrastinating by drawing something I actually want to draw, namely witch boobs. But I will be getting back to drawing backgrounds after I'm done with this stream. Most commenters in this chat are Euro Bros. All Americans raise your hand now. Keikona clap. Yeah, I think you're right about that one. I said you shine when it comes to massive milkers. I don't think I'm that good at drawing massive milkers, honestly. There are better massive milker artists out there. But here we are just only suggesting the massive milker in the form of a silhouette. It's artistic, guys. Constrictor, I know you're EU because you're such an annoying asshole. Only a Euro could be timed out as many times as you have been. Ha ha ha, I'm joking, but like, it's kind of funny if you ever are on the Japanese internet, how insanely polite people are to each other. And it's not because like they're nice to each other, they're just polite to each other because the ease of pissing someone off and getting into like a huge argument in Japanese is like so weird. Because like the default level for politeness in Japan is so high, just like breaking the code on what you're supposed to say in specific situations immediately results in people like getting in a fight. It's so weird. You know how in like delinquent manga, like the underclassmen will call somebody by their name and then the upperclassmen will be like, ah, what did you say? That's something something san to you, bitch. Ah, nanda to kora! And then immediately the veins start popping out of their heads. It's kind of like that on the internet, in the Japanese internet. Everybody's like just waiting for any kind of excuse to go at each other. But when they do go at each other, they're still like weirdly polite because there isn't a proper language for like really mean words. It's very strange, honestly. What is my counter at, boss? 62, holy fuck. He's getting there. I'm always worried about copying something that sounds off in Japanese. My intrusive thoughts are fine here. Yeah, everything I say is basically my intrusive thoughts too, so... This is why I have so much difficulty, just having normal relationships in real life, because, as you guys might have noticed, I have a lot of difficulty censoring myself and not saying the things that I shouldn't be saying. At least if you're just streaming on Twitch, the things that you're not supposed to say are pretty well defined. You know, there's only like 4 or 5. The N-word, making literal death threats against people, saying something about Israel or Palestine, talking about how you pirate all your Nintendo games, etc., etc. I think I can aid in interpersonal relationships just to be genuine. I am genuine. But if you're being genuine and you're also an asshole, you're actually not helping, which is me. My problem is that as an Asperger, I'm blessed with amazing amounts of honesty, but also I don't like people, so if you're being honest and that you're also a nice person, then people will appreciate you. But if your honesty leads you to being an asshole, then I don't think people are as happy about it. It's Jazz Greensleeves again. This is the Gran Turismo playlist. I don't know which Gran Turismo had Greensleeve Jazz version, but it's pretty good, I think. I just like jazz at this point. I fucking hated jazz when I was growing up, but it's really grown on me as I've become an older person. I'm not sure why. I think it was because my mother had our local public radio station was like a jazz and blues station for music. So my mother would always have the public radio on when I would have to wake up for school in the morning for like elementary and middle school. So I started to associate hearing jazz in the morning with having to get up and go to fucking school. So I think it started to do like some Pavlov's dog shit to my brain and make me associate jazz with having to go to school when I don't want to go to school. Interesting how that shit can fuck with you. I can understand the PAL Israel thing, but Nintendo, they're just another gaming company that should be shit on. Yeah, but like, can't they do takedown orders for stuff if you say that you're emulating? Like, there's a lot of people who are saying that emulating is perfectly legal, blah, 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 but whether it's been perfectly legal or not, I think they can still, like, file frivolous lawsuits against you, can't they? I know in a lot of streams that I watch, streamers very clearly say stuff that would indicate that they are not pirating, even though everybody fucking knows they're pirating, right? So I'm not really in the know of what you're supposed to say and not supposed to say, but I thought there was a sort of untold agreement that you should just, like, everyone agrees that they're gonna say they're not pirating. How popular is pirating in Japan? I remember during the DS era, people just had like DS's with cartridges that had like 500 games installed in it. And I think that's when Nintendo really got pissed at the whole piracy culture. Because the DS was pirated so heavily. I think it was super easy to pirate. Yeah, and all the friends that I had in college, although I didn't have a lot because I was only there for a semester, had like giant hard drives full of pirated stuff. So I think it's relatively common for people who are up with PC technology. But on the other hand, Japan is like famous for being technologically illiterate for a lot of people, so it's probably not as high overall in piracy as like Western countries, but I think it's still pretty fucking high. With number one obviously being like countries like China and shit, I'm sure. I want darker lines here. I want darker lines or do I want double the lines? I can't figure it out. No, I think I do want darker lines at 40. Yeah, okay, this is fine. Alright, here we go. companies will do what companies need to do, and things that they don't necessarily need to do as well. Nintendo has more money than they could ever use. They're completely fine financially. They don't need to be ruining their reputation among their own fans by going after them. They're just being assholes because they can. She reminds me of the Martian Queen from the Looney Tunes cartoon. Is this the Marvin or Martian? Marvin the Martian? I didn't know there was a female version of that. Marvin the Martian Queen. Ah. She must have been a recent addition. She definitely didn't exist back in my day. Queen Tyranny. Talking about something that looks like this, guys. Holy sexo. See-through skirt, fucking naked legs, fucking golden bikini, Egyptian headdress. Is this fan art? LOL? No, this is real shit. She's a character in Duck Dodgers. The Queen of Mars. Mars equals off-brand Egypt? That's because Marvin the Martian, the classic character, which you've probably seen, looks like this. And he had sort of an Egyptian. He looks more Roman, so I guess she's supposed to be, like the Cleopatra. To Marvin the Martian's Mark Antony or something, I don't know. Alright, let's draw the fucking bird, because that's what we all actually want to see. We all want the fucking bird. What was the character's name in Night Rain? The bird's name? Night Rain bird. Guardian, okay. Just gotta consult the 10-hour lore video. Yeah, his name actually isn't the Guardian. You have to check the items to read what his real name is. It's funny that the bird is like the big heavy tanky class, because if there's one thing we actually know about real birds in real life is they can't tank shit because their bones are fucking hollow. Reminder of Metal Slug Cleopatra? I don't remember shit about some of the Metal Slug stuff. I only remember how Theo has big boobs and is wearing a tank top. We should talk more about SNK girls. I feel like the SNK female experience is frequently overlooked and underrated, but it should be discussed more often. Leona's abs. Leona ab plus tank top combo. Leona's tank top is one of the hardest working pieces of clothing in video games. That thing is working triple overtime to keep those puppies inside as they bounce around on the screen. Angel Latinx representation. I feel like Angel being Mexican representation is one of like the biggest copes of Mexico of all time. It's like, yes, we finally got our Mexican representation. She's a white woman with white hair. She's tall and she wears leather and has huge fat titties. I'm like, ah, yes. If there's one thing I think about Mexican women, it's Angel, right? Definitely the Mexican stereotype right there, guys. Also, I think Mai Shiranui is overrated. I wish we could disperse some of the porn that Mai gets to other characters. Maybe just that's fine. Angel, a character from the King of Fighters, 168 centimeters tall. Literally the tallest Mexican to ever exist. Towering over every other person in the population. I feel like there isn't that much of Mai, way more of Chun-Li and Cammy. That's because SNK as a whole has, you know, been in the back compared to any Capcom game for the last, I don't know, 15 years, 20 years. SNK's relevance basically died with the end of relevance in arcades. They still make fun games for their player bases, but in terms of broader internet relevance, it's much lower. Lily is 160 centimeters tall. If there's any character that suffers more from their hairstyle to make them unhot, it's fucking Lily in that game. Even more than Aki. Lily's hair makes her look so fucking ugly. Luckily in the her paid DLC costume, she gets her the pigtails and sombrero, which is a way better look, and that should have been the Lily costume to start with. She's kind of boomer bait now. All fighting games are boomer bait, unfortunately. All the kids are jacking off to their Fortnite models, which are pretty hot in the broader scheme of things. Considering that every other video game's characters were censored to be sexless for the last 10 years or so, The Fortnite characters actually kept some amount of sexual characteristics, even in limited form. Any thoughts on BJNA? There are characters I like better than her. I don't really like her design that much. My SNK character girl ranking, #1 is King. It still is. Alright, we can fucking finally do it. We'll just do it off the top of my head. KOF Coom S tier. We don't really need C's and D's because they're all. In fact, we could just be S and A. Honestly, it's probably like this because everything is like Coom tier. For me, it's like King, and like Mai is an A. Does Gato count too? We can make a B. Oh, I know. We'll put all the short characters in B, so it doesn't seem like we're pedophiles. Yuri, who is like 30 or something, we'll put her in B. King. Leona. I can't believe they somehow expected City of the Wolves to be the next big thing. It's okay, they're owned by the Saudis or whatever. Jeremy, you can't see her eyes and she's wearing a mini skirt, so... Is it M-I-E? Yeah, that's probably it. There's a lot of characters. And I haven't played KOF game in quite a while, honestly. I got one 14 in PS Plus, so I've been meaning to check it out, but again, I've been drawing non-stop basically, so... I haven't had time to download a fighting game just so I could goon. Sadly. Mary is S, even though her original debut is like Android 18. Man, that hairstyle has just permanently cursed anybody with that hairstyle being called Android 18. Although I agree that it was probably an Android 18 reference directly, because that's how these fighting games work. But you can't have a blonde asymmetrical bob, or whatever you would call that cut, without being called Android 18 at this point. Fatal Fury 3, Mary? Yeah, it's been a while since I've actually looked at what Fatal Fury looks like. I might have forgotten. I thought that... I mean, her costume in later games with the baggy pants and then tight top is pretty different from Android 18, so... Good night. Enjoy your horrible splitting headache. So the reason why I have a border in this image is I kind of figured out how to properly build a page in manga, and it's to have the border at a certain width and then build the black and the gray and the white spaces of the page around the width of the border. So I'm going to use 20 thickness borders, and then I can set it so that my brush size in response to the border is like 30 or 25 or 20, depending on how big the figure is supposed to be and so on. God, I have to draw all of this, like, weird details of, what do you call this, embroidery and shit, I think, or else it's gonna look weird. That's one thing that I really need to get better at. Drawing, like, this kind of squiggly details that doesn't really register that it's details, or doesn't register at the kind of lines you're actually drawing, but sort of registers as just, like, embroidery shit. Like, you have so much of that in fantasy. You have to figure out how to draw that convincingly and quickly, or else I don't think I can do a fantasy series properly. I don't know how people make squiggles work so well. Yeah, me neither. One guy, I've been like actually checking out YouTube tutorials. I know if you guys watch my streams, you've probably heard me say that like YouTube tutorials can't teach you shit for quite a while. But recently I've been online on YouTube so often I actually was able to find some people that have a good amount of expertise. One guy that I would recommend for you for drawing squiggles that I found is really good at drawing squiggles is let's see, where is he? S, I believe. Okay, yeah, here we go. Steven Travers' art is, this is a inking guy that has like a shit ton of videos. Let's see if details. Secret to drawing overwhelming detail. Architecture. Simple architecture. Complex architecture. So this guy is especially helpful for people like me who are drawing in lines because he's not like a painter person.
A fairly complex scene, maybe even a complex.
Look how much details he's drawing just like with one-shotting it.
Just under 2 hours to do. Every drawing is still just line by line. Let me talk you through how I did this, and maybe it can give you some encouragement to give it a go.
So much detail, mute our level. But the thing is that he just is doing scribbles, and it looks like a lot of detail from far away. So he's really good at just like making it look like detail without actually drawing the details, and just sort of filling up the space using lighting. What's important here is if he actually gives you very specific techniques and stuff on what he's doing, like how to draw straight lines and stuff. And obviously if you're drawing digitally, you don't have to be as high a skill level as him because you can use your eraser and stuff, so. So one thing that I actually started doing that he talks about that's a very specific technique that I think is really helpful is when you're trying to draw like straight lines, this is for like people who are especially working on pen and ink, but instead of trying to draw the line, he says make a dot like this and then put your pen on the paper and then pull the line looking at the dot. So like you're aiming for an object, and that will make it way more consistent. So like, let's say if I have like an underline like this, and I'm trying to draw over it and ink it, instead of going like this, when it's kind of like, I have a little more difficulty, but if I'm really trying to draw a straight line, instead I'll be like, put the dot. I'm actually not, yeah, there we go. And then you look at the dot, and then like you guide your hand toward the dot, and you can get these really good straight lines on target. That's a draw box exercise, literally first few exercises, I think. Well, this is why I've never done draw a box. Fuck draw a box. I can draw boxes on my own. Feels like aim training. So the human eye is just, it naturally tends to go toward what we're looking at. So if we have a point that we can focus our eye on, then like we will steer our whatever movement toward that point. So this is why when you're driving, like you shouldn't look into the headlights of an oncoming car and stuff at night, because you just will automatically start to steer toward the oncoming headlights and like get in an accident. So we can use that in a more helpful way. Let's see if I can quickly add some tone to this by going select, convert to selection layer, boom, 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 yeah. And then erase this because I don't want that to be full. 8. I told my mother I was going to start cooking by now, so I'm going to end the stream here. See you around, guys. Hope you guys have a nice night. Wow, I've been on for 3 hours and 40 minutes. I guess I really did want to draw some boobs. My body was in dire need for drawing breasts. See you around, guys. Good night.